Hey Tigers, this is Coach Carlson. Wanted to bring you guys the video highlights of our game last week against Argyle Black and walk through some things that I think we can learn from. This is a really good game to review. I think one, because we're going to play this team again, and so we can look at some things that worked and some things that didn't work so that we'll be better prepared next time we play them. But also I think because they had some big physical post players, they were able to exploit some things that we haven't been doing as well as we need to this year, and it will give us some opportunities to improve. So thanks to Antoine, Josiah's dad, for taking this footage, and I'll walk you through some of the highlights in slow motion, just like we did last season to help learn. So beginning here, we're on defense. We're in our 3-2 zone, and the goal of the 3-2 zone, right, is we want to close off driving lanes. We want to close out quickly on shooters. And we also want to protect the paint and keep their big men off the board. So here's the first shot. And I just want to rewind a little bit because one thing that we've not been doing all that well this year is boxing out. So let's look at their big guy here, and then the shooter and everyone else. And let's see how many players on our team are making a box out. So right here, number 7 shoots it. Hopefully what you'd see is you'd see Greg boxing out here, you'd see Trip boxing out here, you'd see DJ boxing out here, and then Brandon and Preston would also be boxing out here and here. What we see is that while Trip's attempting to make a box out, he's not holding his space and he's getting pushed underneath the basket by 45. Same thing's happening to DJ right here. So both of our players are pretty far under the hoop, meaning that if the rebound goes far at all off of the hoop, that they'll be unable to catch it. The other thing that we see here is that no one's guarding the shooter or boxing out the shooter, and as a result, the shooter gets his own rebound and they get another opportunity. And so that's a foul call right there. So that's the first thing I've been noticing all year long, is that we just haven't been doing a great job of boxing out. When we do box out, we're not keeping people out of the paint. So let's see what happens here. Oh, so here, this is a zone defense. DJ is holding down the bottom right, but what he's done instead of holding down his position is he's followed the man over to here, and that results in a point blank look at the basket. They don't knock it down, but that's just something we can learn from. So Greg gets the rebound. Preston has his eyes up, makes a great pass out in front to Trip. Trip here probably had a moment where he could have just either gone up with it, or we see DJ trailing, and this could be a quick pass and a layup. But he does make a good pass out, and we're able to reset the offense. Brandon gets a pretty good look at it, just not quite on that shot. Great recognition by P. Another great pass. So here we've had 2 plays in a row where Preston has had his eyes up on the floor, and he's made great passes up that have given us, opportunities to possibly score near the basket. So great job, Preston, there. Good. So Preston's dribbling there. He keeps him in front. Notice how Preston hands off the ball handler to Brandon. Now in our 3-2 zone, we want Brandon playing outside leverage, meaning that if he gets the ball, Brandon wants to push him back in. So let's see if Brandon cuts him off and pushes him back in. He does. They make another pass. Going back there. Once again, Brandon's playing leverage. So here we have a shot go up. And let's just back up a quick second and see how we rotate here. So once the ball goes over here, we need to see DJ rotate all the way over to this block. We need Greg to rotate down and cover the backside. And these are the 2 who are going to be on the hook for boxing out on each side of the play. So ball goes up. DJ should be here. Greg should be boxing out here. Let's see if either of that happens. It doesn't happen, but the ball does go out of bounds and we get it. So, even though things are going our way, they haven't taken advantage of this. You can see just a few little technique things that we're giving up that could give up important possessions in big games in the future. So they're also in a 3-2 zone. We're in our Arizona offense, so P is doing a nice job. Preston's doing a nice job of extending the zone. So is Greg. So is Brandon. And they're moving the ball around. Now, the issue here is that, they're moving the ball around in circles, but we got to also look to feed the high post. And Greg finally does that. And that's when Tripp's able to turn the corner and get a nice position on the ball. DJ, I'd like to see him just box out on that play and not jump himself out of the play, but to hold his ground. So DJ is doing a good job of holding his ground here. And, he's an elite shot blocker. He gets the ball. He makes a very quick outlet pass to Brandon, which leads to a layup opportunity. We just don't quite miss it, or quite make it. But another really nice offensive play where we're getting out in early offense and transition, making the right pass, making the right play. Okay, so he's driving hard to his left. Let's see if Brandon does what we've been taught, which is close this down so they can't get a driving lane. And then if he makes a pass out, run out to the corner with your feet chopping and a nice hard closeout. Let's see if that happens. It does. Very nice closeout. Now Greg's coming out. We want Greg to get a little bit closer. Another good closeout by Brandon. So he's shooting a 3 with a hand up. Although we, again, don't box out and we give up the rebound, DJ's an elite shot blocker, and he's able to stop that from happening. Brandon sees the whole side of the court open, and we'll take that shot all day, every day. So now we've made our first shot. We're in our tiger press. And in our tiger press, these two are trapping the ball. Tripp is playing sideline to sideline. And what he's really doing is reading the eyes of the ball handler, making sure he can't make a pass over the middle. He's defending that first pass over the middle, and Brandon's playing the pullback pass. So Brandon does a nice job cutting it off. Tripp identifies the man, and Tripp is able to make the steal. So well done on the first set in our tiger press. DJ dribbles, makes a good pass out, and once again, we were able to outflank their 3-2 zone, and that's a weak spot in the 3-2 zone, is getting it out to the corner and driving down the baseline. We've gotten 2 layups off of that, and that forces the other team to call a timeout. So I'm going to skip ahead from the timeout. We're back on the court, setting up in our tiger press. And let's look at formation. So both Greg and Brandon are doing a good job of playing outside leverage. We don't want to let them ever get to the sideline, and so Brandon's playing his outside shoulder. Greg's playing his outside shoulder. Tripp is here, and what he's going to do is just have his head on a swivel and see if anyone comes up for a pass and make sure he denies that. Good. So right here. Okay, so Greg gets beat sideline but cuts it off and forces him back. Once again, they try to throw it over the middle, and kind of a fortunate pass. But overall, pretty well played. Good hustle play by DJ right there. And we end up getting the ball. I also like the body language, the energy of the team. A lot of guys clapping each other up. Good hop in the step. We look engaged. So once again, they're in their 3-2 zone. What's worked for us so far is kind of outflanking the zone out into the corner and dribbling around. Or if we can attack it to the middle with high-low, that also works. Later in the game, we told our baseline runner, instead of just going to the post, to come all the way out the corner to stretch them out a little bit more. But at this stage in the game, we're not yet doing that. Oh, so we had Tripp in the high post, but sometimes we just look at that return pass. Good. Nice feed by Preston. Good pass by Tripp into DJ. Couldn't quite see what happened there. It looked like we lost the ball to them, but the official was blocking my view. So let's stop here. So now Greg's on the inside shoulder. We want him on the outside shoulder so he can't get beat to the sideline. Ball's in. Brandon's got to come up and trap that. They make the return pass. Good. Once again, Tripp jumps on it, and Tripp has his eyes up and makes a great pass. The ball's moving real quickly. Good open pass. P's wide open. We like that. Nice clean look right there. We like that look too. Almost goes in. So what's going to happen there is that 45 has the inside position on DJ, and DJ, you're just reaching over his back, and that's what the call is there. And you'll notice I call a timeout either here or in a moment, DJ, just because we had some early foul trouble, but I think some of the early foul trouble was a result on rebounds. We're reaching over the back. So now we're back in the Tiger press, and Colton is sideline to sideline, and he should be identifying this is the open man and coming up and denying that pass. DJ would be picking up this guy who's the furthest back in the zone, but Colton should be here. DJ should be here. Brandon is looking at this return pass here. We get a hand on the ball. And good, you know, if they beat the press, we just recover, get in our spots. Good pressure out there by Colton and Josiah. Good hands. Okay, so let's see what happened there, because we don't have a box out on their big guy. So let's keep an eye on him here and see if anyone's putting a body on him during the play. So he's over there. We'd like to see Ace get attached to him. I think Ace was trying to. Just like to see him get there a little bit early. Colton closes out. Again, we're fighting, but we really got to be intentional about putting a body on their big guys so that we don't get bullied around. You know, early in the game, I think, you know, we saw this come and hurt us a little bit more later. But earlier in the game, they were still kind of pushing us around down low. And some of our shot blocking ability and just contesting the shot made it not look as bad as it seemed. But as we go through the next several clips, we're going to talk a whole lot more about how we deal with big physical players and how we need to stay attached to them. We need to have bodies on them the whole play. We need to fight for position before the play. And so if you tune into the next clips, we'll talk more about exactly how to do that.